if an Amitabh Bachchan film is being released, there used to be queues outside the
Cinema
theater, on the roads, and there used to be police bandobast. Now nothing is there. Any new film you can go and see the film. There's no houseful sign anywhere. I don't see it.
Everyone grew up watching Amitabh Bachchan. So how is he as a person, the man behind the superstar?
As a person, he's a very nice person, very articulate, man of few words, and very responsive. Cinema has turned into commerce. It is an art form. Government, the film fraternity should let it be an art form. If you turn it into commerce, then everything becomes a commercial proposal.
जया बच्चन जी से भी काफी इंटरेक्शन रहा होगा. मीडिया के थ्रू एक हम उनका परसेप्शन देखते हैं कि she comes across as a person who is very hot-headed and snappy. तो आज हमारे सामने एक ऐसी शख्सियत है जिन्होंने एक पूरी लेगेसी को मिट्टी में मिलने से बचा लिया. इंडिया के फोरमोस्ट आर्काइविस्ट एंड फिल्म हिस्टोरियन मिस्टर SMM Ausaja. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
वेलकम टू द शो. शुरू करते हैं हम लोग बिल्कुल शुरुआत से. सो हाउ इस जर्नी, ये फिल्म एंड मेमोरेबिलिया एंड आर्काइविस्ट इवेंचुअली आप बने, ये जर्नी कैसे स्टार्ट हुई?
जर्नी तो बचपन की है, क्योंकि बचपन से अमिताभ बच्चन के दीवाने थे
जी.
तो जब क्लास 4th में थे तो एक मूवी सुहाग आई थी
जी.
तो वो देखने के बाद और दीवानापन बढ़ा. एंड देन slowly I started as a school kid, I started purchasing Amitabh Bachchan's memorabilia in terms of postcards, magazine covers, or whatever was available in those days in Lucknow and Kanpur, where I grew up. That's how it started. But when I pursued my MBA and then eventually landed in Mumbai, then I seriously came across posters and photographs and lobby cards and memorabilia wherein there were genuine collectors also and sellers also in Mumbai in those days. I'm talking about late 90s when these things were available widely. That's how I expanded my vistas and I moved beyond Bachchan and started collecting on old cinemas and old actors and landmark films. That's how I grew. The whole collection grew.
So आपको याद है आपका फर्स्ट फिल्म मेमोरेबिलिया जो आपने कभी कलेक्ट किया था?
First was the poster of Kalia, which I had to literally beg Mr. Tandon in Novelty, Lucknow, to give me.
Yeah.
The film had celebrated a 100-day run in Novelty in Lucknow. So with that it started, but then posters were not widely available in Lucknow and Kanpur. So eventually when I came to Mumbai and I started hunting, and then I actually saw some places in Lamington Road where they used to sell posters. And then from that place I went to a few collectors. They also used to collect as well as sell.
Okay.
So that's how it was a very interesting journey, but very expensive. But I still managed somehow.
क्या आपने इवेंचुअली अमिताभ बच्चन से वो पोस्टर साइन कराने का आपको मौका मिला?
I've met Mr. Bachchan so many times. So whenever I meet him, if there's something interesting that I have, then I request him to sign, and he does.
Of course. That. So meeting Amitabh Bachchan, how was it like meeting him? Like is India's screen icon. Everyone grew up watching Amitabh Bachchan, and we look forward to Amitabh Bachchan movies. So how was it for you as a fan to meet your screen hero in real life? So can you describe us? आपको याद हो अगर your first meeting कैसी रही और how were you feeling?
The first time I saw him was at Hotel Horizon in Juhu, Snowmore, that hotel.
Okay.
He was shooting for Mrityu Datta, 1996, and I was doing my first job in Plus Channel, same building. So that was a glimpse that I saw. And then when I started working with Rahul Mahajan and Integral Productions, then we did a big Kargil victory show in Kashmir with Pramod ji and Farooq Abdullah.
Okay.
So we did a huge concert there. So I was handling production of that project. That's how I met Mr. Bachchan for the first time in his office. So it was a very pleasant meeting, and of course since then we have been in touch, and by the grace of God he has always helped me, whether it is my first book, whether it is my second book, whether it is my third book. All the 3 books he has released, and first 2 books he has written the foreword also. Of course, third book is called The Bachchans, which is on the family. That is the reason why he didn't write the foreword, but he released the book as a special consideration within his premises, which he has never allowed any other book to be released there.
Right. That's quite special. So how is he as a person behind the man behind the superstar? तो आपने इतनी किताबें लिखी हैं, आपने इतना I'm sure इतना interaction रहा है. How is he as a person?
He is a very private person. He doesn't. He's a man of few words privately, and of course, all actors love praise. And he's reached a position where anybody he meets will claim to be his fan, and anybody who he meets will start praising him. So he takes it in his stride now. But I think he respects genuine people who are archiving cinema, and I think this particular cause is very close to his heart. That is the reason why he is involved with the Film Heritage Foundation, and that is the reason why archivists like me he supports in whatever little we do. So as a person, he's a very nice person, very articulate, man of few words, and very responsive.
So and I'm sure आपका जया बच्चन जी से भी काफ़ी इंटरेक्शन रहा होगा. So मेरा एक सवाल है, लाइक मीडिया के थ्रू एक हम उनका परसेप्शन देखते हैं कि काफ़ी थोड़ी वो कभी ऐसा जवाब दे देती हैं जो आप ऑन जब आप टीवी पे देखते हैं या ऑन अपने फोन्स में देखते हैं, थोड़ा शी कम्स अक्रॉस एज अ पर्सन हु इज वेरी हॉट हेडेड एंड स्नैपी. यू थिंक शी इज बीइंग पोर्ट्रेड राइट और इज जस्ट अ मीडिया परसेप्शन?
No, I feel the media is not very generous to her for political reasons.
Okay.
She is a very nice person. If she has any, and she speaks her mind. She's not the kind of person who will, who's seeing something and who's being diplomatic. No. So she speaks her mind. So if there's a public place where it's inappropriate for a camera person to click her without her permission, or for some stray person who's trying to get a selfie with her without her permission, she objects.
Fair
So
enough.
that objection is shown on across channels as some kind of a weird behavior, but it is not.
It's just for mostly views.
But that's a perception that the media is creating.
Correct.
I think probably because she's not on a platform which is pro government. That is the reason why she is being portrayed like this. Otherwise, I see no reason why they should do that, because it's her choice who she wants to be clicked with, or whether she wants to be clicked or not.
Totally agree. I agree with that. So मेरा अगला सवाल आपसे ये है कि सिंस आप इतने आर्काइविस्ट हैं एंड यू आर फिल्म हिस्टोरियन, सो आई एम श्योर आपको कुछ पुराने पोस्टर्स भी एट सम पॉइंट मिले होंगे जिनकी हालत काफ़ी ख़राब रही हो, या ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम वो फेड कर जाते हैं या कागज़ के होते हैं तो टूट जाते हैं. सो ऐसा कोई आपको पोस्टर्स मिले पुराने मेमोरेबिलिया या पोस्टर्स जिसको आपने यू हैड टू सेव इट एंड देन ब्रिंग इट बैक टू लाइफ? ऐसा कोई इंस्टेंस आपको याद है?
Lot of posters. See, please understand, posters were printed on the worst quality paper.
Okay.
Because they were meant to be pasted on a wall, and that's it. No other life. Therefore, if those posters have survived, the paper gives way. It just becomes brittle, or it cracks, and it's very difficult to sustain its journey. Therefore, for collectors like me, it is a task to make sure that if you have a rare poster, which is the first release original poster, it survives somehow. And restoration of a poster is a very, very expensive task. One single poster, at least 10,000 rupees is required to get it restored. So it's a very, very difficult task. It's a very expensive task, and very few people are doing it. In India, there's no corporate backing, there's no government backing for any such effort of individuals, unfortunately. But we do it out of our love for cinema history. But having said that, I feel there should be general awareness, and there should be respect for film heritage. Because cinema as a medium reflects society, it reflects history, it reflects arts, it reflects fashion, it reflects women's issues, it reflects politics. So cinema is not just entertainment. If you look back, cinema has been reflecting all these things, which are elements of our life. If you want to see what people used to wear in the 30s, you have to refer to a film.
True. I agree.
Otherwise, where will you go?
और कुछ है नहीं देखने के लिए.
So that is the visual archive that we should create and respect and nurture and preserve.
Correct.
So if cinema is a such an important medium, we should respect. We should get together the film fraternity, the government, and as well as the people, and do something meaningful with whatever is left. Most of the memorabilia is already lost.
Correct. You think फिल्म इंडस्ट्री एज अ होल कुछ इनिशिएटिव ले रही है टुवर्ड्स, और या आपके जैसे ऑन पर्सनल लेवल ही लोग जो शौकीन हैं और फैंस हैं जो रिस्टोर कर रहे हैं और कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं फिल्म मेमोरेबल?
See, film industry per se is not doing enough for preserving cinema heritage. There are few elements which are doing something other than the government. That is the Film Heritage Foundation, the Tuli Research Center for India Studies, and one or two stray organizations. But that's not enough because an NGO has limited funds for doing such things.
Correct.
Government has NFAI, but I don't know how much funds NFAI has and whether it is going to succeed in what it's supposed to do. Therefore, the film fraternity has to come together. There should be some, or at least it should support in by doing a concert or doing something or the other, or maybe a telethon or something to preserve this, to support this cause. So I feel that whatever the film fraternity is doing is not enough. I feel that much more is required.
करेक्ट. ओके. मैंने देखा कि आप काफ़ी जगह से सैल्वेज करके लाए हैं, जैसे कबाड़ी वालों के पास से कुछ पुराना फिल्म मेमोरेबलिया पोस्टर्स पड़े थे वो जो एकदम डिस्ट्रॉय होने वाले थे. तो ये निकालने के लिए आप जब जाते हैं, सो यू नीड एन आई टू इतने बड़ी जगह पे, यू नीड एन एक्सपर्ट आई. सो व्हाट इज योर इनर वॉइस कि आप क्या इंस्टिंक्ट ड्रिवन होते हैं कि हाउ डू यू लाइक सैल्वेज फ्रॉम सच प्लेसेस एंड हाउ डू यू गेट द टिप ऑफ्स? How do you find such places?
Over the years, I know which people are collectors and who are the sellers, who are the people who are always for a lookout in the market. So such people now know me over the years that I am a collector and a serious collector. So whenever they come across anything which they feel is useful, they call me. So supposing an old distribution or a production office got shut, and they have thrown away their material to the Raddiwala. The Raddiwala will eventually go to a seller. The seller will eventually go to another distributor or a shop owner. So that is how it changes hands and eventually reaches someone or the other who knows me. So I get a call. Then I personally go there and check whether the material is genuine, whether it is old, whether it is relevant, and whether it is the first release, because posters, it's very important to understand that the poster should be a first release poster. The re-release posters and the reprint posters are of very poor aesthetic quality generally, so they don't have much value. Even archival value I don't think they possess. So the primary thing is to locate and preserve the first release poster. And in India, like the rest of the world, posters were handmade, they were hand designed, and they were printed on lithographic press till the 70s. Then from 80s onward, the transition to the offset press came in, and then the digital from the 90s. So that's how the whole process has been. But lithographic press is very, very rare now. It's not available and it's not functional anymore globally. So all the lithographs which were printed and which had organic colors, they're all, those prints, those posters are all considered to be antiques.
Right.
And they have a very, very good archival value. So the first thing is to identify and locate the first release poster. If you have the first release poster, it's a jackpot. And today, because of the auctions, the market of the posters is very high. If you have the original poster of, say, Mughal Azam, it's 5 lakh plus. If you have the poster of Guide, it's 5 lakh plus. If you have the poster of Pyasa, it may touch even 10 lakhs. Sholay posters are all 1 lakh, 2 lakh plus if they are first release originals. Diwar posters again touching 1 lakh. That's the kind of rate that you have for original poster, but they are not available anywhere. Most of the places where you go If you go online, if you search different places, they're all selling re-release posters.
So how do you differentiate between if it's
So the first release poster, it will have the poorest quality paper.
okay,
The paper will be literally dying, and you'll know. But the colors will be organic, and they will, mesmerize you. The feel of the organic color and the paintbrush is enough for any art lover to say wow.
okay. So you see, Indian cinema कहते हैं कि इंडियन सिनेमा के अराउंड द 30s एंड 40s का काफ़ी सारा आर्काइवल सामान हैज़ बीन लॉस्ट. सो कुछ ऐसा सामान, ऐसा मेमोरेबिलिया के पोस्टर्स यू थिंक यू वुड लव टू हैव जो अब सैडली नहीं है.
Lot of things are lost. For example, nobody has the original poster of Devdas, which Kannalal Sehgal made. PC Barua Devdas, which was in mid-30s. And similarly, Alamara poster is not there anywhere. The first release poster. India's first talking film. A film like Dhoop Chhaon, which again made in the 30s, but the first film to use playback singing. The poster is not there. Forget that. All the way if you come to 70s, the famous film called Mausam, which had Sanjeev Kumar and Sharmila Tagore, इसमें वो गाना है दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के रात दिन. That poster is not there anywhere. I've been searching for that poster for 30 years. It's not there. So lots of posters are lost. And out of the blue, suddenly I discover one or two here and there. But that happens rarely now. So whatever posters that are left, I think we should preserve them, and as and when any discovery happens, all the more better. But I feel that whatever is left, at least that much needs to be secured for the future.
करंट फिल्म्स के पोस्टर्स जो होते हैं काफ़ी अब सब डिजिटल हो गया. देयर इज़ नो हैंड पेंटेड वर्क, देयर इज़ एवरीथिंग इज़ डिजिटल. सो पुराने पोस्टर्स में और आज के डिजिटल पोस्टर्स में यू थिंक ओवर द इयर्स एक दैट आर्ट ऑफ मेकिंग पोस्टर्स एंड अब डिजिटल में यू थिंक कोई इमोशन जब आप पोस्टर्स बनाते हैं, आप देखते हैं करंटली यू थिंक वी लैक सर्टन इमोशन जब हम डिजिटल पोस्टर्स देखते हैं.
No, emotions are there because emotions are actually facial expressions and enhanced by colors. So emotions are there in posters, but art is not there.
Correct.
See, art is defined by the human hand. It cannot be an extension of a machine. The soul of art that was depicted on a poster with a paintbrush and with a hand design, that is missing because everything is being designed by the computer.
Correct. वी डोंट रिमेंबर जैसे पहले के टाइम में हमें पोस्टर याद दिमाग में एच रह जाते थे. अभी फिल्म आती हैं, फिल्म चली जाती है, फिल्म अच्छा भी करती है, लेकिन उनके पोस्टर्स और पहले बैनर्स भी लगते थे हर जगह पे, वो अब नहीं रहते. एंड पोस्टर्स जो भी बनते हैं वो अब याद भी नहीं रहते एज ऑडियंस को, पब्लिक को. पहले के जैसे आप कालिया के ले लिए, शोले के देख लिए, काफ़ी मेमोरेबल वो हैं जो आप जब भी देखते हैं वो याद रहते हैं. आई गेस डिजिटल के उसमें that emotion has been lost, I feel.
That emotion has been lost. Plus, look at the kind of films we are getting today. Films are not even running for 10 weeks. In 2 weeks, they are declared to be hits. Those films you are talking about, they ran for 100 weeks and 25 weeks and 100 days and God knows how many jubilees they used to do.
तो ऐसा आपका क्यों लगता है ऐसा?
Because now there are avenues for entertainment. In those days, cinema was a primary avenue of entertainment. Today, click of a button, you have everything on your mobile. So half the people don't even want to venture into a theater, and they want to watch it at their convenience in their drawing room.
True.
So the craze for cinema has lessened. There used to be, if an Amitabh Bachchan film is being released, there used to be queues outside the
cinema
theater on the roads, and there used to be police bandobast. Now nothing is there. Any new film you can go and see the film. There's no houseful sign anywhere. I don't see it.
But you see, मेरा इस पे एक पॉइंट है. आपने बोला कि फिल्म का क्रेज डाई डाउन हो रहा है. आई फील बहुत सारे लोग अब घर पे बैठ के ऑलमोस्ट एवरी अदर नाइट नेटफ्लिक्स या किसी भी प्लेटफॉर्म पे मूवीज देख सकते हैं. थिएटर में जाना मेरे ख्याल से कम हो गया एज कम्पेयर टू बिफोर. मुझे पर्सनली ऐसा लगता है क्योंकि ये मूवी टिकट्स के प्राइसेस बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गए हैं। आप पॉपकॉर्न ले जाएँगे 400-500 का पॉपकॉर्न है, 700 का टिकट है, यानी 250 की कोल्ड ड्रिंक है और अगर आप 3-4 एज़ अ फैमिली ऑफ 4 जाते हैं या आप 2-3 2 एक यंग कपल जाते हैं, मूवी देखना इफ यू इज़ अबाउट 2000 रुपीज़ मिनिमम फॉर 2 पीपल। जो कि पुराने टाइम में इवन लेट्स से 15 साल पहले तक इतना एक्सपेंसिव मूवी गोइंग वाज़न्ट देयर। आई फील दिस इज कुड बी वन ऑफ द रीजंस जो कि सिनेमा हॉल्स में लोग
Definitely. Reason being, primary reason is that cinema has turned into commerce. It is an art form.
करेक्ट
The government, the film fraternity should let it be an art form. If you turn it into commerce, then everything becomes a commercial proposal. So if you have a top star but you have a bad script, but you are sure that when the film releases you will get your money back, people fund.
इट बिकम्स अ प्रोजेक्ट देन रादर देन
It's a
आर्ट ऑफ फिल्म
project
मेकिंग।
which is viable because you have X star who will make sure that these many people watch the film,
True.
his or her presence. So they know, they calculate and they say, okay, yeah, this is a viable. They are not bothered about whether the script is going right, whether the direction is going right or whatever. Those things are secondary for them. Primary thing is they need a star cast which sells.
बट स्टार कास्ट जो है दे कांट इवन गारंटी अ सर्टेन ओपनिंग अपार्ट फ्रॉम मे बी शाहरुख top
No,
1 or 2 stars.
see, it's not just one or two stars. They see whether you have a top music director, you have a top director who has delivered 2 hits previously. So certain permutations and combinations they see, and if they see that getting everything right, this particular project will give me the returns in the first 2 weeks, they will give you money. They will not bother about your content and your script and your creativity. That is what is happening today. And if you have a great script, but you have two new players, they will not give you 5 rupees. So that is the truth. So how do you expect creativity to thrive in such an environment?
ओवर द इयर्स आई एम श्योर फिल्म मेकर जितने भी इंडस्ट्री के लोगों से मैंने मिला हूँ दे आर एक्सट्रीमली शार्प पीपल। तो ओवर द इयर्स आप आई एम श्योर मेक आउट कर सकते हैं कि भाई ये कॉम्बिनेशन नहीं चल पा रहा, यू नीड टू हैव सब्सटेंस इन द स्क्रिप्ट, बट समहाउ दे नॉट गेटिंग दैट पार्ट राइट।
Because they have a commercial acumen, as I said before. They don't want to lose anything. They don't want to risk. They want to minimize their investment risk, which essentially has become a commerce-driven industry now. Earlier it was, but not to this level. There used to be a Bimal Roy, there used to be a Ritvik Ghatak, they used to also make films. There was an NFDC which used to fund parallel cinema. We don't have any such forums now.
सो मिस्टर ओसोजा, आपने काफ़ी विलन्स 70s एंड 80s के विलन्स के काफ़ी पोस्टर्स आपने रिस्टोर किए हैं, आपने कलेक्ट किए हैं। आप अमरीश पुरी साहब एंड प्राण साहब से भी काफ़ी आपने मुलाकात रही है। सो कैन वी टॉक अबाउट हाउ वाज मिस्टर अमरीश, लाइक हम इनको जानते हैं एज विलन्स ऑन स्क्रीन, बट हाउ आर दे एज पीपल टू मी?
See, I have not met many villains, but then see, they're all actors. They do a particular role, and if they excel in that particular role, they are given more roles which are similar to those. So that
The image
the
maintains.
director and producer are sure that he's going to do well and he is going to be liked. This actor is going to be liked in this particular negative role only. So that is the reason they get typecast. Whether it is Prem Chopra Saab, whether it is Pran Saab, whether it is Amrish Puri ji, they're all brilliant actors. If you look at these the people who you're terming as villains, if whenever they've done a positive role, they've excelled. Look at Pran Saab in so many films in which he was positive. Beginning with Zanjeer.
Zanjeer, yeah, Sher Khan.
Then you come to Amrish Puri Saab. You look at him in so many films in which he's positive. Ardha Satya Lelo. So many. The Jackie Shroff film, Angar, Ghatak. He was brilliant. These are great actors. Essentially, you see, hero and villain are something that are very elementary for the public, but essentially they are great actors.
तो आपके इतने रेयर पोस्टर्स मेमोरेबलिया हैं, इसमें सबसे जो आपके पास अभी है, सबसे दिल के करीब कौन सा आपके पास फिल्म मेमोरेबलिया है?
It's very difficult to say because I'm sitting on almost 20,000 posters.
जी।
So it's very difficult to pinpoint which is great. But then there have been some very great poster designers. For example, D.R. Bhosle, Divakar Karkare, Pandit Ramkumar Sharma. Then you have, of course, Shrikant Dongde Saab is alive. Then there's Veera Prabhu, there's PAMART, there's AAA. There's so many agencies and particular designers. They used to design brilliant posters. Like Pandit Ramkumar Sharma, he has done very select work in Indian cinema posters, but his work has been outstanding. So all their posters are masterpieces, in my opinion. Like Divakar Karkare's Amitabh Bachchan posters from Diwar onwards are like, each is from Diwar all the way till Mard. Divakar Karkare literally created the angry young man image of Amitabh Bachchan on the street. So in my posters, I think Diwar poster is definitely very close to my heart. And there's a poster called Manzil where Amitabh Bachchan is smoking a cigarette. That is also a very great design. Then you have posters of Millie. They are very, very good. Of course, Guide is a masterpiece. Mughal Azam was designed by G. Kamble. It's also a very, very brilliantly designed poster. And of course, Shantaramji's posters, they were very colorful. And there were posters of Satyajit Ray which he own designed. Like he himself designed those posters. So those posters are also very unique in a arty way. So each designer had his own style. So it's a question of personal choice कि भाई आपको कौन सा पसंद है. But otherwise, I feel that
अगर आपने टॉप 3 में रखना चाहें आपके 3, तो आप किनको रखेंगे? जो होता है दिल के करीब बहुत होता है.
तीसरी मंजिल, दीवार एंड गाइड.
ओके. मेमोरेबिलिया एक बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट बन गया है, जैसे आपने बताया कि पोस्टर्स अब लाखों में जा रहे हैं. डू यू थिंक डज द प्राइस टैग एवर ओवरशैडो द इमोशनल वैल्यू?
देखिए, इंडिया में देयर इज नॉट मच रिस्पेक्ट फॉर मेमोरेबिलिया. सो कलेक्टर्स आर वेरी फ्यू. प्री 90s पोस्टर रद्दी में तुलते थे. Nobody used to collect except stray 1 or 2 people. After 90s, the idea of auction started in India. When the auction started, people realized that posters have value, and then a few collectors started collecting. So the collection of posters among collectors in India basically started in the 90s, late 90s. Then onwards, it has been on the rise, the valuation of posters. That is because globally, the poster, even in Hollywood, there's a lot of value for old original posters. In India, of course, that much value is not there, but still, slowly, the pricing has risen. And in India, it's very difficult to get original posters because most of them have perished. That's the reason, because there's a rarity issue. That is also one of the reasons why posters are expensive. अगर मार्केट में बहुत पोस्टर्स बचे होते तो आपको मिलते आराम से. जब कोई फिल्म का पोस्टर है ही नहीं, या गिनती के 8-10 पोस्टर्स हैं, वो भी कलेक्टर्स के पास हैं, तो आप लेने जाओगे तो कहाँ मिलेंगे? सो दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई the demand for posters and the price of the posters have gone up, because there's hardly any vintage posters are not available now, even in the markets. And people who are collecting, they can collect re-release posters. They are cheaper.
They're cheaper, yeah.
But first release posters will always be expensive because they are very rare.
Do you think collectors का number अब बढ़ रहा है as in comparison to earlier times, or I think it's a diminishing community?
बढ़ नहीं रहा है, but collectors market में ही आए हैं late 90s से. So appreciate हुआ है, but new collectors तभी आएंगे जब उनको मिलेंगे posters. जब उनको मिल ही नहीं रहे हैं posters, because all the posters which were left behind or there somewhere in the market have since 90s have been collected by the few collectors who are there, and they are sitting on them now. And so नया collector कहाँ जाके लेगा? उनके पास ही आना पड़ेगा उसको, you know.
आज यंग सिनेमा लवर्स एंड जो कलेक्टर्स हैं, अगर किसी को सपोज मुझे अगर कलेक्ट करना है पोस्टर्स, सो व्हाट एडवाइस वुड यू गिव मी? हाउ शुड वन स्टार्ट? हाउ शुड वन गो अबाउट इट? कि आपको प्यार है सिनेमा से, पोस्टर्स आप कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, बट आपको पता नहीं कहाँ जाएं, किससे मिलें, कैसे स्टार्ट करें?
पोस्टर्स, आई फील the best way to collect is to start with the posters of the films which are available, which are old rare, originals, but available. कल को वो भी available नहीं होंगे. So whatever is available, you get hold of that first.
Okay.
That will always appreciate. If it's a first release poster, if you are spending 10 rupees on it today, it will definitely become 20 in 5 years by default. But you have to be careful. Now, each collector has his own choice. So I don't know what interest a person would have. Supposing there are some people who only collect Shammi Kapoor posters. There are some people who only collect a Dilip Kumar poster. So it depends on collectors also. What is their point area of interest?
So let's say कोई अमिताभ बच्चन पोस्टर कलेक्ट करना चाहे या शाहरुख खान पोस्टर्स, तो हाउ डज वन स्टार्ट टू, अगर अभी कोई करंट मूवीज तो अब सब डिजिटल एज के बाद से तो पोस्टर्स आई डोंट थिंक बनते
बहुत बहुत कम,
बहुत रेयर. सो अब जो पुराने 90s एंड बिफोर का जो टाइम है आप तभी के वो कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. सो हाउ डज वन गो अबाउट इट, लाइक वेयर अगर मुझे ढूंढना है किसी पोस्टर को और मैं एकदम नया हूँ, तो where do I find look for posters?
You need to go to people who have been collecting posters. Okay. So you have to go to collectors, because if you go online, there is a chance that those would be re-release posters and you would not know. So online there is a lot of fake and re-release posters flooded. So people who don't know, they get conned.
They con, yeah.
So better to go to collectors who are genuine, who can guide you and who can tell you how to go about it.
Okay. So किसी को अगर आपसे contact करना हो तो where does one find you online?
I am already on social media, so people can get in touch easily.
Okay. So recently आपका एक posters का एक exhibition हुआ था. Can we talk about that, please?
Oh, that's already ongoing.
जी.
That is an initiative of NGMA, National Gallery of Modern Art, and they invited me to curate a section of Indian cinema history in the show called Lens and Legacy, where they are showcasing different photographers of Indian cinema and their work. And within that, they also wanted to hold a space for early 4 decades of Indian cinema. So those 4 decades I have curated for the show. It is doing very well, and I feel that more and more people should go there, watch and experience what old cinema was all about.
That was lovely. So I guess that's all the time we have. It was a pleasure having you over, Mr. Ausaja, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. हाय, आप देख रहे हैं द बॉलीवुड मिनट. लाइक करिए, सब्सक्राइब करिए, शेयर करिए.